Hello everyone! Today I will show you how to make Czech flour gnocchi. These are so amazing, fluffy, buttery, and it is the best side dish for chicken paprikash. So let's start with the recipe, and I hope you will make it because you will love them. So here I have 1/3 of a cup unsalted butter. I put it in a mug because we will need to soften it up. In this metal bowl, I put 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. I put a lid on, and we will later put the finished gnocchi right here. Then we have here 2 eggs, room temperature, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 cups milk, and here I have Vondra flour. Vondra flour is very easy to find in, for example, Walmart, and this is a coarse flour. So this is what we will need because it makes beautiful soft gnocchi. Here I have 2 3/4 of a cup. So definitely make sure to get Vondra flour because they make amazing, it makes amazing gnocchi. So let's start with the recipe. Let's first warm up 1.5 cups milk. I put it in a microwave for about 40 seconds. Next step is soften the butter. This is 1/3 of a cup, and you can find it on the stick of butter. It says 1/3 cup, so you just cut it. So let's soften it up in microwave for about 20 seconds. Here is the butter, so let's add it into a bowl. Let's add 1 teaspoon of salt, and let's whisk it all together. This is good. Let's add 2 eggs. And let's whisk it. Break the yolk. If the eggs are too cold, they will make into the butter little chunks. So that's why it's recommended room temperature. But if it happens, don't worry about it. It's no problem at all. Let's add the warmed up milk, 1.5 cups. And let's whisk it again. Now we will change the whisk for the wooden spoon. Let's add 2 3/4 of a cup Vondra flour. Let's mix it all together. Now this will take a little bit of time because we want to make sure it's all mixed really good. You could probably use a hand mixer too, but this is how my grandma did it, so I'm just doing it with wooden spoon. Now as you see, it's not too soft and we need it more soft, so let's work with it. You can work up some muscles. After half an hour of mixing, just kidding, this is now perfect. It took about a few minutes. Nothing bad, but it's nice and smooth. And it needs to be a little runny, so this is perfect. So now I scrape up the batter from the wooden spoon. Now let's cover it up with the clean kitchen towel. And now we will need to wait until our water is boiling. So let's start working on that. Prepare a large pot, add the hot water, and now let's add about 4 pinches of salt. Let's turn on the stove to the highest and put the lid on top, cracked open for the steam. And let's bring it to boil. Another thing you will want to prepare is a plate and large colander, because we will need to rinse the finished gnocchi. The water is definitely boiling, and it's boiling strong, so let's lower it to kind of gentle boil, and we will not need the lid, so let's set it aside. When we will start to put the batter inside the water, it might lose some of the boil, so don't lower it too low. So that's why I have it pretty high. And here the batter was resting. I suggest, or at least what works the best for me, is this 1 teaspoon measurement. This makes a beautiful gnocchi. You can also use a smaller spoon, but because this is nicely deep, it works perfect for me. So definitely try it. But before we put every gnocchi inside, we will have to water it. So we will put it into the boiling water. This way the batter will nicely slide out. So I'll show you. Now I will just make a kind of this. And now here it goes. And every time we will have to do this, okay? It's perfect. Let's put it in. And now let's try to cover the bottom. Let's try to work fast to cover the bottom. Right now you can see very nice. Later the water will be not so clear, so you just have to guess, but I think you will still be able to see the gnocchi inside. Try not to put them on top of each other. This way they can cook nicely. And some of them might already start to float to the surface. Beautiful little gnocchi. Now we are starting to lose the boil, so I will put the heat a little higher, because you want to make sure it's boiling the whole time. I think this is good for now. So let's set up the timer to 3 minutes. But after 2-minute mark, we will unstick them from the bottom to kind of help them loosen up. We have 1 minute before our timer is done, and here I have a wooden spoon, and I just help them to the surface. But let's finish the 3-minute mark. The timer finished, and now we will need to scoop them up. And I will scoop them up into the colander. I try to get the water out. And now we will need to rinse them. You need to rinse them with the hot water. So make sure that the water is hot or warm, because we don't want to cool off the gnocchi. And it doesn't take long, and the water is hot, so we will just rinse them like this. Now the water needs to go out as much as possible, and we will put them into prepared bowl with butter. And I'll kind of swirl them around, and then we will be adding, when we will be adding more gnocchi, then we will also swirl them so the butter coats all of them. Everything is ready again. We have our plate with colander, boiling water, nice batter. So let's continue. Put it in a hot water and just make more gnocchi. Now you cannot see as much on the bottom, but that's okay. You can still kind of see the gnocchi, or you know where you put it. You start on the top, and then you go center, and then you go down. And this is how you just make all of them. Another batch is boiling now. And what you can also do, what I like to do, is wipe off the spoon after each batch, just into a paper towel or napkin, or you can also wash it in the sink. Now it's ready for another use. Now we will rinse them. This will prevent them from sticking all together. And keep the bowl covered with the lid so the gnocchi stays warm. And now add more of them. Swirl around. Then later we will mix it all. But this is perfect. Cover up and let's continue and finish the whole batch. I just added the last batch and now I have here spoon. And you will want to mix everything together and then cover it up and it's ready to be served. So if you like the video, let me know. I hope you enjoyed it, and now we are ready for some chicken paprikash.